Here on the Save It for Parts channel, I often feature stuff from Axeman surplus stores. They are one of my favorite stores in the Twin Cities. In fact, I'm wearing one of their shirts today, and that wasn't even planned for this video. I just happened to also buy clothing there, as well as surplus electronics and other stuff. Now, whenever I do an Axeman surplus video, I get commenters from the distant land of Wisconsin recommending a similar store called American Science and Surplus. I was recently in Wisconsin over by Milwaukee, and our friend said, hey, let's go over to American Science and Surplus. I jumped on the chance. We drove over to their location outside of Milwaukee, and this is a pretty interesting store. So let's take a look through here and see how it compares to Axeman Surplus in St. Paul. Now, I'm aware there are a couple other American Science and Surplus stores in the Chicago region. I have not been to those, although next time I'm over in Illinois, maybe we'll check those out as well. Despite the very strong similarities between American Science and Surplus and Axeman, they are owned by different groups, different people, and they just happen to have a lot of the same type of stuff. Apparently, stores like this used to be much more common in the US and other countries, but they're slowly being phased out because there apparently is not as much demand for random, interesting stuff like this. The general public would rather sit at home on the couch and just spam Amazon ordering things that they want. People apparently don't like to go out and just buy weird random products from little stores like this, which is really unfortunate because stores like this are fantastic. You can find things you never knew existed, you don't know what they are, but you desperately need them. Now, Axeman and American Science and Surplus are slightly different. The Wisconsin version does seem to be a little bit more science related. They have new products like microscopes, telescopes, and they have more lab equipment and science equipment that you might actually want to use for a science class or in high school, something like that. Axeman definitely has things of that nature, but they tend to be a little more used, a little more jumbled, a little less organized, and it's random what you're going to find at Axeman, where American Science and Surplus seems to have some things of the high school science class more kept in stock, or at least kept in new stock. They definitely also have some new old stock stuff, new products that definitely have not been in demand for 30, 40 years. The Wisconsin version also tends to have less random electronics junk. Axeman has just miles and miles of shelves full of weird electronic junk from the component level up to the massive physical product level, where American Science and Surplus really only has about one aisle of that sort of thing. They both feature lots of holiday and seasonal decor, all kinds of store cast-off, secondhand stuff, things that never sold very well in the mainstream retail market and got sold in bulk to some of these surplus stores. American Science and Surplus does have a lot of interesting handwritten signs and decor and artistic creations using some of their products, but Axeman still has them beat for the amount of funny signs, humorous descriptions on products, and general amount of whimsy. I would say Axeman is definitely a little weirder and a little bit crazier when it comes to shopping around, trying to figure out what these products could be useful for, what they might have been useful for. You just generally get more of a laugh, and I think you could spend all day, maybe all week in an Axeman store just reading the labels without even buying anything. Although I cannot get into one of these stores without actually buying something. It is impossible for me to walk into one of these and not come out with something. I did end up buying a couple things at American Science and Surplus. Some of those might show up in future videos. They were just a couple sort of random little trinkets and scientific-ish decor type stuff. So yeah, we might showcase those at some point in the future. The staff at American Science and Surplus were nice enough to check with their manager and let me film when I asked them, so I did get permission for this video. I'm not just randomly running around filming everything, although sometimes I've done that in other situations. Stores like this are definitely a big sensory overload for me. I get in there, I see everything at once, and I find it really difficult to focus on any particular product or shelf or item, and so I miss tons of stuff. So for going into a store like American Science and Surplus, like Axeman Surplus, I have to go in there multiple times, multiple trips before I see everything, and I probably still don't see everything because their stock changes, they move things around a little bit, things come and go, stuff gets sold out. If you see a product you like at a store like this, you'd better buy it right then because there's absolutely no guarantee it will ever be there again. And really, most of it is very affordable. They are pricing this stuff to move. Even the interesting military antiques, the military surplus kind of collectible stuff is pretty affordable compared to, say, a dedicated military surplus store. And that is another thing that American Science and Surplus had a little bit more of. The main Axeman surplus store in St. Paul doesn't have quite as much military surplus. There's a little bit more at the Fridley location, or maybe there's just as much at the St. Paul location and it's spread out differently. But anyway, American Science and Surplus seemed like they had more gas masks, ammo cans, sort of the traditional military surplus that you used to find at a lot of stores before that sort of thing went out of style as well. In the Axeman videos, people did complain that I walked through the aisles too quickly. I didn't focus on any of the signs or any of the products in detail, and that's really kind of impossible. There is so much stuff in here. It would be a 6-hour video. Yeah, 6 hours is probably even an optimistic estimate. It would probably take a multiple day video to actually show you everything that's in here. There's just so much. And like I said, it is a massive sensory overload, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to check out American Science and Surplus, I will throw some links down in the description along with their different locations. And if you live in the Milwaukee or Chicago areas, go check them out. Check out my other videos for junk that I have made out of stuff from surplus stores like this, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see future projects that we come up with from things along this line, things we found at surplus stores like this. And I will be doing a lot of project videos like that in the future. If you know of another store along these lines that I should check out, especially in the Twin Cities area or the Midwest, let me know in the comments, and if I'm in the area, I will try to visit it. Thanks to everyone out there for watching, and we'll see you next time.